Clean water. Not all of us get to have access to nice clean water and drink it straight out of the tap. Most of you probably recognize these. So many of these, as you can see, I've collected them. And the reason I have these is because I wanted to try to recycle them, but couldn't. So I've just now instead clinged onto them for dear life, for no reason really. I live somewhere where tap water is usually pretty clean, although there are some places, even where I live, that there's a little bit of lead in the water, and you need a water filter if you don't want to contaminate your body with lead. And I never really considered water filters as something very essential. I grew up with a family that boiled the water to disinfect it, although I really didn't like the taste of it. Quite awful, to be honest. It doesn't taste right. And then as an adult living on my own, I would use Brita filters like on and off. I wasn't really good with changing the filters on time. I didn't really know when to change them other than the, I don't know, 3 months that they tell you to change it, which is very vague. And unless you manually track all your water, you can't really accurately change the water filters. And you may end up using it past its usage and then recontaminating your water, or wasting it and not using it completely and then throwing it out prematurely. So anyway, all that to say, I wasn't really digging Brita, as well as it just getting kind of dirty and grimy in there and not being really that good with upkeeping in terms of the cleaning of the pitcher. One thing that somebody said to me that really actually just made sense, and I never really gave it much thought before, is your body is basically 60% water. So why would you not feed your body with the best water possible? So there are really expensive filtration systems that you needed to have pre-installed or have installed into your whole counter and everything, and then it would come out by the sink and you would be able to have nice filtered water. It was a really clean solution, but a little bit expensive. The filters were expensive, the installation was expensive and all that. But I back way too many products on Kickstarter and Indiegogo, but this product popped up at one point and it really interested me. It was something that I was considering because I have an espresso machine and I wanted something that could maybe filter out some of the calcium, something that they initially sort of promised, but now it's a bit which I'll get into later. And honestly, when I looked at it, I liked all that they were presenting in terms of the Kickstarter. So this review is going to be a little bit of a mix of the information I had based off of Kickstarter, but I don't want to influence that too much because the final product is a little bit of a departure off of some of the initial promises on the Kickstarter, but that's not that fair to hold to that standard because the original Kickstarter is the ideal situation, and then, you know, the product is not finalized yet, so I want to talk mainly about the finalized product, but some of the decisions that I made were based on the promises of the Kickstarter, so it will come up. Let's just start with who this company is. So this is LARQ, and you might have heard them before because they had another project that was really successful, which was a UV-C water bottle. You know, how many times are you really giving your water bottle a good clean, right? A simple filtration system in terms of killing off any type of microorganisms, like anything that would create algae, let's say, and having nice clean tasting water. It wouldn't filter it, but it would clean it a bit. So they are a member of the 1% for the planet, and 1% of their proceeds is donated to Well Aware to help fund sustainable projects for bringing clean water to some communities. So why did I originally back LARQ? The list of reasons was I wanted a new water pitcher anyway. I had this standard Brita. I really wasn't using it very much. It was getting very gross and it didn't hold enough water, to be honest. But for one person, it wasn't so bad, but I just didn't really like the whole use of it. This is a really old pitcher, to be honest. There's probably way better ones anyway nowadays. I wanted something new. I wanted something that was good. I like their double filtration system with a filter and a UV-C wand. There was also 2 different options for filters. They were promising a reduction in plastic, longer filter life, so you would have to replace it less often, which meant less in the landfills, less in terms of transportation pollution, even if you would think about it in the grand scheme of things, and in production and all that. So just overall better for the environment. It was simple, no need to install anything. I would just purchase it and leave it on my counter. It was very hands-off in terms of it tracking water and tracking when you would need to change the filters. They had a very strong why in their company, which I like to support companies that reflect my values. And they also were claiming to soften the water a little bit. So I was hoping that I would be able to eliminate my water filter that I have in my espresso machine So did it live up to the hype in regards to all of that? Let's find out. If you were to buy the pitcher, it would be 175 Canadian, approximately 130 USD, shipping out of, I was told there's a Canadian warehouse and a US warehouse. So actually when I did get this from Kickstarter, I didn't pay any additional duties and taxes. So that's great for us Canadian customers. And the filters themselves, there's the essential filter and the advanced filter. And the essential filter costs 29 Canadian, 23.20 if you are on a subscription base, so that you save 20% off of it. And there's also the advanced filter, which is $35 Canadian and $28 if you're on the subscription plan, which I believe you can cancel to at any point or skip. So if you're accumulating too many filters, you're not consuming them fast enough. And I'm also gonna have an affiliate link down below, especially if you decide to purchase it based on this review. That would be super helpful for me because it costs you nothing to purchase through that link, but will help support this channel so I can continue buying products and gear and all that stuff for these videos, because I don't make as much as you think I do on this channel. In terms of the design, it comes in two colors. It comes in Monaco blue and the white, which I have the white right here. Both are really beautiful. The picture here is a BPA Fatal State Free Flat, I can't say this word, Fatal State. I'm just gonna subtitle, I can never say this word. Food grade plastic as well, which is very glass-like and thick, and it is heavy. It's also dishwasher safe, though follow the recommendations in the instruction manual in terms of what to disassemble and how to put it in the dishwasher and all that. To fill the water into the pitcher, it goes on the top here with this push down lid, that's spring. I don't know how long the spring will last, it's been fine for now. I found that to be a little bit weird at the beginning, and I wasn't sure if I really liked it, but now I'm quite fond of it with exceptions. It's not a perfect system though. I thought that was also weird to have the water go in like this instead of other Brita filters where you see there's a button and it goes upwards. That would probably be a cleaner solution. However, I actually kind of like this because you just pick up the pitcher and you just bring it underneath the faucet and turn it on. And you don't need to press your thumb here to lift it up. It's not a huge deal, but also because this pitcher is quite heavy, that it would be a bit more difficult to have to manage all that. There's a little bit of dust up here from whatever the dust in my place, then that's gonna go in and that's kind of gross, but then I realized there's a water filter in there. It'll filter the dust. It also accumulated water, which for the first maybe 2 days I was cleaning off very softly with a towel as not to push it back in. And then after a while, I just stopped caring. I'll see some water spots because of that mineral calcium buildup. If you have the dark blue, the water spots may be more visible. Once in a while, because of that calcium deposit to fill the pitcher, the lid will actually get stuck and the water won't go in. The pressure of the water will not be significant enough to push the lid in. So this is gonna vary from place to place depending on the hardness of your water and depending how clean you are with upkeeping it. It happens once in a while for me, and then I just put my finger like this and push it back down and then the water goes into the pitcher, no problem. But that is something I do wanna bring up. When you do fill up the water, you'll get this beautiful racetrack LED glow that they call. Don't actually think that is the UV1 activated. I think it's just a visual thing because the UV1 is actually further in the back here and is just directed at the water that seems to be coming out. I could be wrong though, and it could be for the whole pitcher. Let me show you what that UVC one looks like. I'm going to manually activate it by pressing the button. I think it's a pretty nice glow. When it's dark in my place and the light will just come on, beautiful blue techie glow going on in the background. This is an 8-cup capacity, about 1.9 liters. For now, it only comes in this one size, but they may eventually have other sizes in the future. It takes about 2 of these completely full to fill up this entire thing. And this is a lot of water for 1 to 2 people plus some guests, but it's a lot of water and it filters quite quickly. So there's a nice stream of water that comes down. And I would say filling this up completely and then filtering it down took about 3 minutes and 20 seconds about. Overall, I much prefer using this than the Brita. I often don't actually keep this empty, and I don't know if it's just mentally because when I refill it, I kind of have that reward of the blue light, and it's just nice to have the blue light. So it's kind of maybe the reason that I'm keeping it more filled in more, or maybe just the fact that when I have a nice user experience with something, I will use them. And a product that is well designed, that's being well used for its purpose, is the product that you should get. And so for me, this is the product that I got. And the spout is this nice wide spout that just has this beautiful waterfall effect when it comes out of the cup. It's just pretty to look at. I like it. There's also a 1-year warranty on the LARQ pitchers. It's a 2-step filtration process. So there's the filters and then there's the UVC wand. The filters are plant-based carbon material. I have a extra filter right here, an advanced filter. On the back, it tells you all of the things that it filters out, which we'll get into later. It comes in this little box, and then it comes in this eco pure plastic, which I guess is, I don't know, it's a recycled plastic, I guess. Doesn't really say if you can recycle it. It has a recycling logo on it, but anyway, most of the time, plastics can't really be recycled. You'll have to check with your city's recycling. But the unfortunate thing is most of the time these are not recyclable because it'll get stuck in the machines that rip it all up, the plastics and stuff. So it usually just gets chucked into the garbage. Don't know if the new LARQ filters will be shipped with less paper and plastic. I find there's just a lot of waste right here. And I don't know, compared to a Brita filter, I guess it comes in a little thin cardboard. This is a really thick cardboard. Although cardboard is easily recyclable. Although there is a soft touch like sticker on here. It's a nice touch, it's very Apple-esque, but is it necessary? I think that if they really want to be environmental, they would just have a very simple brown packaging. Then there's just instructions in here, which is really good to have that handy. Now, here is the filter. I'm gonna open this up so you can see. Here's where I'm actually a little bit upset because the original reason that I, as well as many people, backed this project was originally it was promised to have a lot less plastic. So granted, I haven't opened this up to compare in terms of weight, how much plastic is being used in each one, but this casing is pretty thick. When I compare the two filters, this definitely feels heavier than the Brita filter. And it seems like there's actually more plastic. I haven't opened it all up because I don't have a used filter yet for the LARQ, but just judging on the thickness of this case compared to the Brita filter, which is very malleable and very thin plastic. Having seen a video of somebody opening up one of these filters, which I will link down below, it really doesn't seem like there's a lot of plastics. I feel like the LARQ filter cases have just more overall plastic than this. There's also this silicone around here, which is probably a different kind of plastic as well. And for now, it's not reusable. They said maybe in the future it will be. The original Kickstarter was just a filter bag that you see that's in the inside, but now every single filter comes with this huge plastic casing that it's not recyclable for the time being. They don't take it back, and it seems like a lot of plastic, and it's very disappointing, and I really hope that LARQ engineers a better solution with a more, maybe sturdier case that would be reusable, but they were saying that they can't really ship it without ruining the integrity of the filter, the soft filter inside, so that they had to be shipped like this, which is very unfortunate. And if this was the case from the beginning, I probably wouldn't have backed this product, to be honest. I do like the pitcher, I do like the water filter and everything, but you will notice, compared to the Brita filter, that it is also flat. On the bottom, there's a lot of holes for the water to come out and filter. The advantage also of this flatter, wider surface area is, unlike this vertical tube, heavy metals will not clog the filter because it has a more maximized surface area. Innovative. I don't know if other water filters have something similar. I thought that was cool. There are two different filters that you can buy for the LARQ. There's the essential filter and there's the advanced filter. So the essential filter is recommended for basic protection and improved taste, and that filters out chlorine, mercury, cadmium, copper, and VOCs. The advanced filter does everything that the essential filter does, so chlorine, mercury, cadmium, copper, VOCs, but it does additional things such as lead, particulates, benzenes, industrial pollutants, pesticides and herbicides, pharmaceuticals, industrial chemicals. When I did a quick comparison with other top filters out there, like Pure, Brita, and other ones, the LARQ Advanced held its own and covers a lot, if not most, but everyone's water and needs will vary. So if you want a full detailed list of what the essential and the advanced filters remove, I'll link the third-party tester report in the description down below for you to take a look at. And they claim that their filters don't remove any of the good minerals that you want to keep in water. And I also asked about microplastics because that's a reality. That's the world we live in right now. We have plastic in our bodies. This will filter up to 40 microns of microplastics. And to give you an idea, average human hair is 70 microns, but like what is average human hair, honestly? Different ethnicities have different hair thicknesses. So they said originally that it would help filter out some of the calcium and magnesium. It does filter out a little bit of calcium, magnesium. They don't have any details on that. They weren't able to provide any for me. But to be fair, the Breville filters that I'm using, they don't detail that information either. Can't really fault LARQ for that because they're not advertising their products as that, even though that's one of the main reasons I wanted to back it. How often do you change your filters? LARQ claims that it lasts 50% longer than traditional filters. I don't know which filters they're talking about. I'm assuming it's Brita. And that is true only for the standard filter. Unfortunately, not true when it comes to the Elite filter from Brita. When your filter needs to be changed, you're also gonna get a notification in the app if you do have the app, but don't worry, you do not need the app in order to use the LARQ picture, although the app does unlock a couple of extra features. The filter is at less than 20% life left. PureVis little lambda sign that's there, I think it's a lambda, will flash orange right before activating the PureVis wand. So you'll get a heads up physically that it's starting to run low. And then if you have the app, you'll get an even clearer indication of your remaining filter life. The light on the PureVis wand also helps to notify you of the filter life as well as the battery status. And unlike traditional filters, according to LARQ anyway, it doesn't release any toxins once the filter is at its capacity and it's done. The trapped toxins that are in there will remain in there. They won't be re-released back into the water, but then any new water you add in there will not be filtered. And then of course you put in a new filter and you reset everything, follow the instructions for that. Now I took it upon myself to compare with the Brita filters just because Brita is one of the most popular filters. They do have some comparisons on their website that are vague. They just say traditional pictures and high-end pictures, but they don't go beyond that. Now the information I found on the LARQ website, not the most accurate, I'll be honest. Here's a quick comparison I can have with the LARQ picture versus the Brita picture and the LARQ filter versus the Brita filter. Brita, you get a lot more options and sizes for their pictures, but I find the quality isn't always as nice and the design isn't as always nice, but that is also subjective. You don't have a clear indication of filter changes as you do with the LARQ. The Brita filters, I only found one that had a more digitized version that was a concept project or a project that was on limited run because it doesn't seem like you could buy it anymore. Most of the time it's this sticker that's just very inaccurate. And there's another one that's a reader on the top that just says when you have to replace it. And I don't know how accurate that is either. In this one, it's supposed to be more accurate. I'm assuming that there's a little bit of smart technology in here that is reading the actual water that's going in, and so should be more accurate in that sense, which is always good because then you're really maximizing the usage of your filter and tracking it properly instead of having to guess. Brita's filters is more widely available, so that makes it easier to purchase. The water seems to be filtering a lot quicker on the LARQ, so that's a win for the LARQ. And now in terms of the price and duration of the filters and what they filter out, the LARQ Advanced filter filters out more things than the Elite Longlast Plus filter from Brita, which is their Elite Advanced filter, if you will. Compared to the standard filter, the LARQ, the Essential or the Advanced, will win over in terms of life. One filter from LARQ can filter out 60 gallons of water, and the standard Brita filter filters out 40. However, the Advanced filter from Brita, their Elite Longlast Plus, I believe is called. I don't know if it's the same thing or it's just different names, but the Advanced filter from Brita filters 120 gallons of water. So we're looking at double the amount for the Advanced Brita filter, 120 gallons versus 60 gallons. And the pricing is better on the Advanced Brita filter. It's about 25 Canadian. The Advanced filter on LARQ is 28 if you buy it repeatedly and get that 20% discount, but it's 35 regular price on a one-time purchase. You're actually paying a little bit less on the Advanced filter from Brita and you're getting double the filter capacity, but it doesn't filter as much things. I can't say which one you should buy. It's really depending on what your needs are in terms of what you need to filter out, how much you want to filter out. I haven't done any water tests on my water. I thought about getting those strip kits, but they're pretty pricey and they seem pretty inaccurate from all of the reviews I saw anyway. Some people thought it was great. Some people said it was wildly inaccurate. So didn't really feel like wasting my money on possibly test strips that would not really yield any conclusive results. Now, there is, of course, another benefit with the LARQ pitcher, and that is their PureVis UV-C wand. They call it PureVis, but it's a UV-C wand. Improves the taste of the water. According to LARQ, with the filtration of chemicals in treated tap water, filtered water is susceptible to biocontaminants, which is a breeding ground for algae and other things like that on a molecular level. Apparently it has to do with the light frequency or something, the nanometer, 280 nanometers, which is deadly to these types of biocontaminants. So it kills them off. This pitcher since January, we're now in May as of recording, and I have not cleaned it once. Well, I haven't cleaned it since getting it, and it just looks perfectly clean, and there's no algae buildup, and the water tastes fantastic. I mean, my tap water, to be fair, also tastes quite good, but the water that comes out of here tastes a little bit better. Some of the reviews I read on the LARQ website, they mentioned how bad their water tasted from tap, and then putting it through the filter, it tasted fantastic. So if you have a LARQ pitcher and you have that kind of experience or any type of experience, please do chime in down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything I've said so far, to be honest. Flavor, taste, design, user experience, all of it. Seems to be successful because I did have a Brita filter, and let me tell you, that thing would get grimy pretty quickly. I wasn't really good at cleaning. There'd be a little bit of algae. Apparently as well, it deactivates Salmonella and E. coli. So those are some extra benefits that you won't get in the Brita filter. Or, I don't know, other filters, unless they have a UV-C wand of some kind. Now they suggest that you give it a clean every time you change the filter, so every few months. And I haven't changed my filter yet, but it's coming up soon. Having to do that, maybe 2 to 3 times a year is nothing. I can easily do that. That simplifies my life. So there's 3 ways that you can activate the PureVis wand. There is the first way: when you fill in the water, it will automatically turn on. You can also go in the app to play with all the settings. You can manually turn it on here to activate it whenever, as well as doing it on the app. It will also turn on periodically on its own, just to give it a nice clean. And there are 3 modes for that. There's a power saving mode, a standard mode, and then a more advanced mode where it cleans all the time, but I find that probably isn't necessary. I've downgraded to power saving to increase the battery life, and I've done that for several months, and it still tastes fine, and it looks clean, and it's great. The standard mode, the battery was just dying too quickly for my taste. The battery was lasting about 18 days. Now, plus or minus, if you're multiple people in the household using this, it's probably gonna last a little bit less long. And with the power saving mode, for me, it lasted about a month. There is an app that comes with this. You don't actually need it. You can still use the pitcher physically, but the app does unlock some additional features, such as the settings that I was mentioning. You can also update your LARQ, because there's actually software in this. It is a smart pitcher. You can update it through the app. It also tracks your water filtration and the water that you've consumed or filtered, which I find is not that relevant for me, but the data is there if you wish. Now, there was a small bug with the app recently, and they said that they fixed it. I've already reached out to them, where it reset my water filter usage. So it's no longer accurate, and I'm not sure when I'm supposed to change the filter now. If I remember correctly, I did see it was low, but then it erased it and said it was like new, and that I had changed in April, but I've had this pitcher since January. That was a mild bug. Shouldn't be happening again, but I do want to just mention that. Eventually, they're going to be having some databases for the US for the types of water that you have, depending on the databases they can access. And then they said they would add other countries throughout the year or throughout the next few years, maybe. So hopefully Canada will be in that list because we're neighboring countries. Based on the water database, it could provide some sort of recommendation in terms of what filter you need, essential versus the advanced. So that's pretty exciting. The app would be a lot more useful with that kind of information. I think I've gone to the app maybe a handful of times since getting the pitcher. So it's not something that I would personally look at. But also my app is on an iPad, which is not optimized for that, but it's the only iOS. I don't have an iPhone as of now, so it's the only way I'm able to use it. But even if I had it on my phone, I'm not sure if that's something that I would look at very often. But that's just me. Maybe you find that interesting. So overall, do I really like this picture and do I regret my decision? Yes and no. I'm not thrilled by the amount of plastic that they're using around their filters, and I'm really hoping that they fix that, because if they fix that, then it'll be a perfect picture for me. But that was one of the reasons I backed it. I'm hoping that they also increase the battery life somehow. Maybe they optimize something through the software, or maybe at that point it'll be physically changing the PureVis wand, but I don't want to have to change that. I find that the water does taste really good, and I do reach for my pitcher a lot, and I use it, and every time I use it, there's a little bit of joy. I like using this pitcher, and because I like using it, I use it often, and I drink a lot of water. I feel like I drink more water with this than I did with my Brita. I definitely drink more filtered water than I did with my Brita. Just took too long to filter, and the capacity was small. It was just unpleasant to use, that I would just often end up drinking straight out of the tap water. I like that there is a more exact filter usage tracking system, minus that one blip, but I do like that that's there. So overall, I do like it. And if they fix that plastic on the filter, perhaps reduce packaging as well, maybe, you know, sell it in multiple packs, that would be fantastic. So who would this be for exactly? People who want cleaner water, want a simple solution, people who maybe they want to track their water with the app, though I think it's not great for that, especially if you're multiple people in the house. People that want something simple and nice, people that want clean tasting water. That's it for me for the LARQ pitcher. I hope that this helped you. Please give it a thumbs up and like it and share it and comment. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know if you have the LARQ pitcher. Let me know what your experience has been with it, or are you considering buying it? Or if you have other water filtration systems, please chime in down below. That could be a great resource for other people looking into water filtration systems. Please consider purchasing through the link. That would really be helpful if this review has helped you and you are considering buying it. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.